Hiding in plain sight, an army colonel is caught spying for China. Vivian Huang is bidding to be Taipei's first female mayor. But will her brand of bridging political divisions fly with voters? Forging a middle path on China, Taiwan's third party plans to shake up national politics. Plus, fishing out the problem. Businesses around a scenic pond in Nantou hold a competition to get rid of invasive species. A warm welcome to TaiwanPlus News. I'm Yin Khvat. Prosecutors have indicted an army colonel on charges of spying for China. It's the latest case of a Taiwanese officer caught working for Beijing in recent years. John Van Trieste has more.
Alleged spy Xiang De-en poses with a piece of evidence that could put him in jail. In this photo, the Taiwanese army colonel stands in his uniform, a handwritten pledge of loyalty to China in hand. China claims Taiwan as part of its territory, and though Xiang is tasked with Taiwan's defense, his note says he'll work to advance China's goal of taking the island country instead. Investigators have been on the case for months. Now they're going public.
曾经担任过记者以及旅行社负责人的绍兴男子，那遭中共的情治机构所吸收，从105年起就开始接近这位向姓军官。
By 2019, Xiang was spying for China too. From then on, he received monthly payments in exchange for sensitive information. By January this year, he'd received around $18,000 US. Prosecutors are seeking a 12-year sentence.
不法收贿、从事通敌叛国行为、强烈打击民心士气、严重危害国家安全，请从重处刑，并宣告褫夺公权。 及没收犯罪所得。
While Xiang's case has made headlines, it's not an isolated one. In the past 10 years, more than 20 active and retired commissioned officers have been indicted for spying on China's behalf, some as recently as in June. In addition to giving bribes, Chinese agents have wined and dined their Taiwanese recruits, offering them expensive gifts and free trips. The military says it's stepping up efforts to root out spies within its ranks.
已经针对内部具有伪藏征候的人员实施深度的考核，那么未来也会持续的强化官兵反情报教育，并且跟国安单位密切协作，共同反制中共渗透搜情。
But China has vowed to take Taiwan by force if necessary, and it shows no signs of abandoning its efforts to gather intelligence that could help it do so. Damon Lin and John Van Trieste for TaiwanPlus.
For more on the recent espionage case, our reporter Jaime Ocon spoke to Su Zuyun, a security expert with Taiwan's Institute of National Defense and Security Research.
Is this phenomenon of China trying to recruit Taiwanese military officials as spies or informants, is this a common thing?
应该说，在民主国家都会面对这种威胁，就是你刚才讲的这个 military spy 或是 espionage 都会有。比如说在去年2021年的时候，美国有 FBI 有抓到一个 spy 叫做这个 Toby， 他是一个海军的一个工程师，他把这个submarine 潜艇的这个机密泄露卖给就是外国的政府，所以就是不管是俄国或者是中国，他都利用民主国家这种对于自己人的信任，所以就会用这种间谍，那造成就是安全上的很重要威胁。那比较幸运的是说，台湾很清楚这个反情报 counterintelligence 也发挥了作用，所以才会发现这个间谍。那我相信台湾就是基于民主的成熟，还有这个法律的调整，未来就是这个防间谍的部分会更为就是强化。
In this latest case, this colonel is being indicted and was being paid about $1,300 US a month. Is this more about how low military salaries are, or is this more about how officials actually want to unify with China?
所以我相信他这个你说的这一位上校，他主要是基于就是金钱的诱惑， 在冷战的时候，我们看到在柏林德国的柏林有很多这样类似的故事，所以目前台湾就是很遗憾有出现这样一个现役的一个officer， 这是变成间谍，但是我还是有信心，台湾99%的军人都是会忠于自己的这是任务，这个是没有问题的。
A candidate for Taipei City Councilor was attacked at a campaign rally on Wednesday. Lin Jieli of the New Party was assaulted in front of Dazhi Police Station in Taipei. A suspect was arrested immediately after the incident. Lin suffered serious injuries and is currently being treated in hospital. Police say the attacker claimed he was angered by Lin's loud canvassing for votes. The authorities also said the suspect had been drinking. In the race to become Taipei mayor, there's only one female candidate with a chance of winning, the previous deputy mayor, Vivian Huang. If she wins, Huang will become the capital's first female mayor. But she's running as an independent, and some say without the backing of one of Taiwan's two main political parties that she could struggle. James Chater now reports.
Vanessa Yu is nearly 50 years old. She's come to a rally for Taipei mayor candidate Vivian Huang. It's the first political event she's ever attended.
他就是很好的一个人嘛，他就是不会要求你做什么事情，不求任何的回报。
Vanessa is voting for Huang, an independent candidate and six-term Taipei City Councilor. It will be the first time in Vanessa's life she's not voted for Taiwan's opposition Kuomintang, or KMT, whose party colour is blue.
我们家是深蓝的，不管什么，就是爸爸妈妈就说你就是投给国民党，不管谁，你就是投给国民党。可是今年呢，我说服了他们说你就是投黄珊珊。
Huang says she's a safe choice. Since 2019, she's served as the capital's deputy mayor.
目前为止，大概在所有的候选人里面，只有我可以无缝接轨，立刻上工。
Huang wants to tackle Taipei's low birth rate and sky-high rental prices. But more than that, she's hoping to shake up the politics that have shaped Taiwan for decades and offer an alternative to the KMT and DPP, or Democratic Progressive Party, whose colour is green.
如果大家不想要走回头路，就应该要让这个超越蓝绿，还有这个政治文化改变继续下去。
But that's no small challenge. If Huang is to win, she'll need to convince voters to give up lifelong political allegiances.
他今天等于是跳脱一个蓝绿的框架，塑造一个第三形态的生活感觉。那这就有点比较广泛的让大家想象说，他今天给我们的方向是新的东西。
But critics say Huang's ties to current Taipei mayor Ko Wen-je could hold her back. Ke promoted her to deputy mayor in 2019. And this year, he's a prominent figure in her campaign.
Being a vice mayor is not a positive sign for her because of Ko Wen-je, because Ko Wen-je just did very poor on the poll.
But Huang's campaign is choosing to focus on her experience and what they say is her advantage of being independent, not partisan.
很多的事情都是因为蓝的主张，所以绿的反对；绿的主张，蓝的就反对。那这样子的话，事情完全做不成的。我们不要再让这些旧的势力再回到台北市政府里头。伟大市民，欺负大英。
Still not clear what the classic Vivian Huang voter looks like. Her critics say that will make it hard for her to win. Her team says that shows she can draw support from many areas of Taipei society. But among people here, there is a common frustration. They're tired of what they see is political infighting between Taiwan's main parties.
亲爱的伟大市民，你们不是蓝的，你们也不是绿的，你们都是自由的。
Analysts say a Huang victory would show the dividing lines in Taiwan's politics are being redrawn.
If she wins, then that is it's a very significant change for the Taiwan's party politics because that shows the third party has the ability to win a major district without cooperation with the big party. That is very big.
Huang would be the first female mayor of Taipei, but she's trying to prove something even bigger, that the old divisions in Taiwan's politics are a thing of the past. Howard Zhang, Leon Lien, Asnaya Zhou, Ricky and James Chater for TaiwanPlus.
Vivian Huang is not a formal member of the Taiwan People's Party, but she is running under its colours. Our reporter Stash Butler takes a closer look at the country's third bloc and asks, has it solved the puzzle of how to handle China?
Blue, green, or somewhere in between. The Taiwan People's Party, or TPP, is the country's third force. It's a new party founded just 3 years ago by Taipei Mayor Ke Wen-je. And it says it's above the bitter binary divide between Taiwan's ruling party, the pan-green DPP, and the main opposition, the pan-blue Kuomintang.
So I think it's a light blue or light green. I'd rather use another term, light whatever.
But what does the Taiwan People's Party stand for? Political scientist Lev Nachman says parties in Taiwan usually define themselves by their policy on China.
This is what makes Taiwan fundamentally different from most democracies, is because Taiwan is contested. Our fundamental political issue here is not typical left-right issues. It's who are we, where are we, and what's our relationship with China going to be in the future, and what's the direction of Taiwan going to be in the future.
Taiwan's ruling DPP says Taiwan is already independent under its official name, the Republic of China. It says the country should protect its autonomy by being less reliant on China for trade. The opposition Kuomintang, meanwhile, agrees that the ROC is a sovereign state, but it's much more open to ties with Beijing. China, for its part, sees Taiwan as a breakaway province. It wants the two sides of the Taiwan Strait to unite, peacefully if possible, but if necessary, by force. And Nachman says it's unrealistic for the Taiwan People's Party and its chair Ke Wen-je to stay out of that debate.
It appears that his desire to position himself as kind of above the cross-strait issue isn't really above the cross-strait issue, it's definitely on the spectrum somewhere.
So what does the Taiwan People's Party want? Senior official Leonard Zhao says the party plans to defend Taiwan's sovereignty while still talking to Beijing.
Dialogue instead of decoupling, cooperation instead of some confrontation. But confrontation, I think, serves no people.
True to that stress on dialogue, People's Party chair Ke Wen-je has kept an open channel with Shanghai during his time as Taipei mayor. But now his 2 terms are up, Ke is considering a run for president. If he wins in 2024, it would put his approach to the test. Ke is confident he can talk to Shanghai, but can he talk to Beijing?
Given how the PRC has reacted to not just cross-strait relations, but to Taiwan-US and China-US relations, the odds of there being a meaningful dialogue between Taiwan and the PRC in the short term, I don't think is likely.
The Taiwan People's Party is a new voice in Taiwan's politics. It says it's found a third way through the China debate to build a free, autonomous Taiwan thriving from strong cross-strait ties. But to do that, it'll need to convince Taiwanese voters it's ready to govern and fix broken ties with Beijing. Andy Xue, Karma Xu and Stash Butler for TaiwanPlus.
Police in central Taiwan have busted an online gambling ring. It was taking bets on the outcome of Saturday's local elections. Authorities say the ring tried to hide their activities on an online gambling site.
以县市长候选人选举结果作为赌博标的，为了避免遭到警方查缉，他们彼此之间还以台语的“查波查某”作为暗语。
This ring was one of dozens taken down as part of a nationwide crackdown on election gambling. Police have arrested 77 people in connection with these schemes. Taiwan's Foreign Minister Joseph Wu says Chinese interference in the upcoming country's local elections is less severe than in the past. Taiwanese voters are set to head to the polls this Saturday for local elections. At a press conference, Wu said China has often tried to influence Taiwanese voters. He said in previous years, Beijing would offer cheap tickets for Taiwanese people living in China to fly back home and vote. But Wu said Beijing may now be more focused on domestic issues or improving its image abroad.
Maybe they think that this is only local elections, and maybe they are too busy dealing with their international status because they're being heavily criticized for their threat against Taiwan. And it is also possible that China is being very busy in dealing with its own domestic problems. You mentioned about COVID policy. It is causing lots of problems inside China.
Taiwan's military has wrapped up nighttime targeting exercises in the southern county of Pingdong. The drills involved a combination of attack helicopters and armoured vehicles, which took turns firing at targets set up on mountains. The exercises are meant to simulate how the military would provide cover fire as troops on the ground advance. Earlier this month, Taiwan's defence forces said they would step up the frequency of their drills in response to increased military pressure from China. Coming up, find out how a new road looks set to transform life in southern Taiwan.
I've finally been through all 18 levels of the underworld of the East, and I think what's so special, explaining to you what exactly the punishment is for every specific sin. In recent years, as people have become more and more aware of animal rights, it brings me great joy to know that they can come to somewhere like the Zhongyi Shizhougong Temple to pray for the well-being, happiness, and health of their furry friends. The St. Joseph Church here in Citong Township is more than a century old, and through its architecture, to its rituals, to even the incense, you can see just how good a job it does of blending two vastly different cultures and religions.
要好的鼓不简单啊，用好的体力去做，用生命去打一颗鼓。
会不会烧到我的手？
不会的。
好，继续哦，可以换气哦。So I just saw this great dragon walking over here. Looks like it's almost a guardian that's guarding this entire temple complex. The Taiwan Husheng Glass Temple so masterfully combines traditional Taiwanese religion and culture with glass craftsmanship. In addition to that, it's the only place in the world with a glass statue of Mazu. What a beautiful exchange of culture and tradition. Not only an example of how accepting the Taiwanese people are to all sorts of different cultures and religion. I think we could all use more accepting and more beautiful people in this world. So if there's one message that you're taking away from this, let it be that of peace and love.
Thanks for watching TaiwanPlus. For more great stories from Taiwan and around the world, please download the TaiwanPlus app.
You're watching TaiwanPlus News. Now for the headlines from across Asia. The top defense officials from China and the US met on Tuesday with Taiwan on the agenda. Lloyd Austin and Wei Fenghe spoke in Cambodia on the sidelines of the ASEAN defense ministers' meeting. Wei said Taiwan is central to Beijing's core interests, calling it an insurmountable red line. Austin upheld the United States' One China policy, adding that he opposes any unilateral changes to the cross-strait status quo. He also called on Beijing to stop destabilizing actions against Taiwan. There have been more protests at a plant owned by Taiwanese electronics manufacturer Foxconn in central China. Footage obtained by Reuters shows people pulling down barriers and walking over a downed fence at the facility on Wednesday. It's the latest in a wave of protests at the world's largest iPhone factory. Many workers fled the plant in recent weeks after a stringent COVID lockdown. Foxconn had been on a hiring drive to try and replace lost staff by offering higher salaries and bonuses. Rescuers are continuing their search for survivors after a deadly earthquake in Indonesia. Dozens of people are still missing after a 5.6 magnitude quake collapsed buildings on the country's main island of Java on Monday. The shallow tremor killed more than 250 people and injured over 1,000 others. Many of the victims were children. They were taking classes at Islamic schools when the quake struck. We return now to Taiwan, where a major highway in the southern county of Pingdong has been under renovation since July. The government there says work on it will be finished by early 2023. Jeremy Olivier has this story.
This is southern Taiwan's Ping-E Highway. Each year, more than 6 million people travel along it to get to Kending, one of the country's major tourist destinations. But the Pingdong County government began renovation here 4 months ago, and the construction has left the road uneven in places and caused serious gridlock, with traffic, at times, reduced to a crawl. The county has been planting trees and replacing overhead power lines with underground cables for beautification and safety. Power lines have been taken down by storms or disturbed by animals and trees, causing blackouts. Work is expected to be finished by early 2023.
11月19日已完成全部地下线路改接工作。
AC 的这个永久的刨铺工作呢，目前整体进度已经完成了93%以上。另外呢，我们这个计划呢，也希望在农历年前能够完成。
But the $157 million infrastructure plan has faced some controversy. Environmental groups have criticized the tree planting efforts overseen by Taiwan's Highways Agency, saying the government was taking down trees that were already there and replacing them with new ones.
大量的挖除既有的灌木，而且是数十万棵的灌木，然后再重新种灌木。真实的真相其实就是毁树百里。
我们现有的东西，你评估有什么样的问题，你必须把它铲除掉。我们去种新的，你的问题在哪边？你要提出来。
The government has defended its work on the highway, saying the purpose is to eliminate unsuitable trees rather than all of them.
以一个补植或是一个检讨为原则方式来执行的，并不是一个全面汰除的一个工作。
For now, officials and residents will have to wait another few months to see whether the challenges of refurbishing the highway were worth it. Andy Xue and Jeremy Olivier for TaiwanPlus.
A scenic pond in central Taiwan is suffering from rising populations of invasive fish species. Businesses around the tourist attraction depend on the natural environment of the pond to survive. So locals have come up with an inventive way to fight back against the predatory fishes. Leslie Liao tells us more.
Giant snakehead fish like these are wreaking havoc on the ecology of this pond in Nantou County, and they're not alone. Over the years, people have released several species of invasive fish into the Liyutan scenic pool. Those fish are now overwhelming the native wildlife and disrupting the area's fragile ecosystem. That's bad for nearby businesses, which rely on the area's natural scenery to draw in tourists. But now, local business owners are taking the fight to the fish. How? By organizing a fishing competition. It's a contest that's open to anyone who's ready to, quite literally, pull the invasive animals out of the pond one at a time.
在2019年的时候，跟特有生物中心合作，那我们来调查这个鱼类调查。那后来发现潭中的这个外来鱼种非常的多，那于是呢，我们就想说要来做这个清除外来鱼种的一个钓鱼比赛。
Over 30 people signed up for Tuesday's event. Participants could score cash prizes based on the size, number, and weight of their catches. There was also a chef on site to turn their hauls into delicious dishes. 肉质很嫩. Though the competition was a fun day for the fishers, their catches weren't the only thing on the line. Maintaining the area's natural balance is fundamental to preserving Liyutan's ecosystem and the local businesses that rely on it. But for the competition entrants, the prospect of helping out and maybe making a bit of extra cash proved to be an excellent hook. Asnaya Zhou and Leslie Liao for TaiwanPlus.
Taiwan's Council of Agriculture has developed technology to help pig farmers manage their stock more efficiently. Sandy Chi has a story.
Checking whether the sow is ready to breed. This is a new AI detection system developed by Taiwan's Livestock Research Institute to make pig farming more efficient. In Taiwan, pig farming has faced difficulties, from manpower shortages to higher costs. The AI system lets farmers remotely monitor their pigs at night. If they're left alone, they're less stressed. It can also judge when the sows are in estrus and ready to breed, with an accuracy of up to 92%.
是最佳的配种时间，那你就赶快要找精益来配种的哈。那我们可以节省我们的缩呆时间，那当然我们可以提升我们的一个配种率哈。
And after the sows have given birth, the system helps keep the litters safe from being accidentally squashed by the mother. If that happens, the system picks up the piglet's squeals and gets the mother to move.
从节省人力跟整个它后面的产生的效益，大概可以到达9亿元的这个产值哈。
Sows in Taiwan give birth to around 15 to 20 piglets per year, much fewer than in the US and Europe. Agriculture officials hope this new technology can help get more little piggies to the market. Patrick Chen and Sandy Chi for TaiwanPlus.
Thank you for watching TaiwanPlus News. I'm Yin Khvat. Take care. See you next time.